All right, all right. We gonna try this again. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Can y'all hear me? Give me some thumbs up in the chat. Let me know you can hear me. Come on in, come on in. Now look, I gave y'all an extra 4 minutes to come on in. So come on in, come on in, come on in, because it's Monday, Monday, Monday. And guess what? Come on. Come here, come here, come here. Happy New Year! Happy New Year! It is the first show of the year. I am honored to call myself your gracious host. My name is Quita Quee, and welcome to the first Real Resilient Conversation of the year. And I want to just take time out to announce that this is the beginning of our 3rd year anniversary. 3rd year anniversary. So guess what? If you have been rocking and rolling with me since the 3 years ago, I am so honored that you have taken the time out of your day to give me 30 minutes of your time, sometimes an hour when we got some hosts. But I am so excited to share tonight's topic with you. And because you have chosen to give me 30 minutes of your time, I want to be ever so mindful as I give you your mid-month fill up. just to let you know that we do use unique, quirky topics to kind of help you get to become a more resilient you. And that's just for your everyday life, because life happens, life comes, and when it happens, we need to know how to get through it, right? And so what we do is we come on every second and fourth Mondays of every month. And unless something happens, unless it's a holiday, of course. And because life doesn't stop, neither do we. We want to make sure that I go by and do what my assignment is. And my assignment is to empower you to become a more resilient you, by empowering you with knowledge, with laughter, with love, and with joy. And so whether you are watching live or you're watching on rebroadcast, snuggled up or you single, either way, I really want to take the time out and tell you how much I appreciate you. I adore you. I love you for your thoughts and prayers as we continue on this journey. So, with that being said, my Real Resilient Conversation crew that's been rocking with me, you know how we do. Go ahead and help out the people. If this is their first time, I want to tell you hello, 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 how I do appreciate you taking the time out to take a chance on Real Resilient Conversations. So, let me first tell you, we get a little expressive here. So take the time out to express, to share, to like, to give some hearts, to give whatever you feel you are needing to do. So let me know if this is something that you like. This is the type of teaching that you enjoy. And I am always open to your suggestions. Okay. So those of you that know what to do, go ahead and put it in the comment section. What do you think today's topic has to do with resiliency? And of course, resiliency looks a little different to some people, right? But today's topic is use your blinkers. And you're like, use your blinkers. You got the car behind me. You know how it happens when we are revved up, we looking good in our car. And what happens when we don't talk about blinkers, right? So today we are talking about using your blinkers. And so since you're down there putting it in the chat, I'm going to give you a couple minutes just to say, a couple things about the blinker. Is that okay? Is that okay, y'all? All right. So, do you think a man or a woman invented? Do you think a man or a woman invented the blinker? Right. And the reason I ask is because with the blinker, we like, ew, that's a good invention. Or was it a useful invention at the time that it was invented, right? There's a lot of things that we see and we utilize that at one point would not have been useful. Yet when it became into fruition from someone's idea, someone's thought, then it became something that was useful for everyone around them, right? And so the first person to invent a blinker actually was a guy by the name of Edgar Waltz Jr. And he was the one that patented, the one that had the two arrows and the actual brake lights, right? And that, but before that, there was someone who gave, I think it was in the 1930s, but they were utilizing the old school. Like y'all know how they say, if you want to go left, you got to put your arm up. If you want to go right, you got to put your arm down. If you're going straight, you got to stick your arm out. It kind of looked like you was doing either the YMCA or you was doing a robot, one of the two, right? Just to drive. Imagine that, trying to drive, and you got to make this left-hand turn, and you got to turn the car, and you got screaming kids. Oh, my goodness. We wouldn't make it if it was raining or if it was snowing and the wind was blowing. Somebody's going to be upset because I'm cutting you off, right? So whenever electricity came around, we're talking about utilizing the cars. There was someone, of course, that patented what we know now to be the blinker that we know how to turn on and off, right? And so with the blinker, what do you think? How many of y'all actually use your blinkers? How many of y'all use your blinkers? Put it in the, give me some hands, put it in the comment section. How many of you actually use your blinkers, right? And you use it properly? And how many of you all just say, forget the blinkers, I'm going to do what I want to do? Because I know some of y'all out there. I know it is. Halfway use them is what you do. And so today, what we really want to do is we're going to take the time out to kind of cover how blinkers can have a lot to do with your resiliency. And with your resiliency, let's take a look at what perspective, right, when it comes to resiliency. Blinkers, like I said, can be used as what? To me, they're indicators, right? And if there's any answers in the chat, let me know. But they are things in your life that want to indicate what you plan on doing for 2024. And because 2024 is here, you need to be very deliberate about your what you are indicating, what you are preparing for. And like I said, while resiliency is just the ability to survive and thrive, that was the key word there. Not just survive, but to thrive in the world when it's, day-to-day struggles, day-to-day life, day-to-day challenges, the uncertainties that come along with what you're going through and what can really be your pillars, right? And resiliency pillars look different for different people in their houses, right? What's really holding you up? What's keeping you afloat in your resilient life? And whenever you are looking at the different arenas within your world, are you looking at relationship building? Are you looking at building your career? Are you looking at taking care of your child? Networking, making changes in your decision making? Are you looking at your actions, your thought process? Are you thinking about what you've been waiting for the last couple of years? And the reason that I ask this really is because I want you to think. Think about the relationships that you have to lead in your household, to lead your children, to lead your friends, to lead your staff members, to lead your coworkers, right? The various aspects of you leading yourself first, right? Taking the time out to say, and does culture really have anything to do with my resilience? Is it hindering or is it building? Is it influencing or is it hindering when it comes to your culture? And so I really want you to internalize that, really think through that and see which one makes more sense to you, right? When you are looking at the pillars of your life when it comes to 2024. And because your blinker this year needs to be an indication of where you're headed, where you're going, what you plan on doing. And because your indicators, your blinkers are really necessary, this year has to be intentional. This year has to be focused. You have to go in thriving, not just surviving, right? Change Church, Pastor Darius Daniel says, change is about not just surviving, but thriving. And because if you are one that wants to thrive in where you're going, then you have to be able to survive what comes at you. And life is going to bring some challenges, right? Life is going to show up even when you don't want it to. Life does that even when you're like, oh goodness. Oh goodness, right? And sometimes you have your blinker on, and when you're going forward, letting people know your intentions, letting people know where you're headed. And because even yourself, you have to know where you're going for your own personal safety. And sometimes it's for the safety of others. Letting you know where you're going, and there may be times where you're not going with them. And there may be times where you're going to go and you say either you come with or you get left. And because you're indicating how you want to be treated, you're indicating where you want to go, you're indicating what you will and what you won't accept in your life. There has to be a time in your life where your blinker is either going left or your blinker is either going right. You have to refuse when people refuse to let you in, right? I go through this every morning when I go to work. I put my blinker on. I'm like, okay. I'm coming on the highway. Let me in. And people just either don't slow down or they don't speed up so you can get in. And I'm like, hello, we all have to, we're using our blinkers because we are indicating we need to get in the lane. When there's a free lane right next to you, please be ever so mindful that there are other people that need to be in the same place that you need to be in. So that is also a message. Are you willing to get over when people are ready to move into the space that you are in? Because maybe there's an opportunity for you to move into something greater. But you don't know that if you stay stagnant in the same place, refusing to move. There's going to be a time where you are being pushed to move. If you are not ready to move, you may be missing out on your very blessing. You may be missing out on the very thing that's going to catapult you into your next. Instead, you are stuck in this stagnant place because you will not get over. The indication has already been letting you know that it's time for you to move as well. When the indication comes and it's a push, it's time for you to move. What happens is that you end up trying to figure out, do I need to speed up in order for me to get to my place? Or do I need to slow down to get in another place, right? And I really want you to think about your blinkers. This is the time for you to say, is this a hindrance of my life? And so I have to use the blinker to say, enough is enough, it's time for me to move. The hindrance, or is this a blessing for you to be utilizing your blinkers? And the reason that I say that is I did a show about 2 years ago called Stay in Your Lane. And Stay in Your Lane, if you go back and look, I believe my co-host, my mentor is going to go ahead and put it down there for you all. But there was a show that showed about 2 years ago, and it was called Stay in Your Lane. And Stay in Your Lane, one of the reasons or one of the topics or directions that I went in with that is that there's 3 lanes for a reason, right? There's usually at least 3 lanes. There is a slow lane, or the lane that you get on when you're getting on the highway. That's the first lane, right? That's your slow lane. And then there's a middle lane, which I call for your average drivers, the average speed of those drivers, right? And then there's your fast lane or your passing lane. For those of you who don't know, there are 3 lanes for a reason. Slow lane, the regular speed, middle lane, and the fast lane. So your slow lane, your middle lane, your fast lane. If you know for some reason you are not ready to go high speed, ready to take the next step, ready to get where you need to be, you should not be driving in the fast lane. If you know that this is the opportunity for you to move over from the fast lane to the middle lane because you're like, maybe I need to slow down a little bit. Maybe I'm not ready to really get there that fast, right? I'm not in such a rush as everyone else behind me. Let me scoot on over to the middle lane. Or maybe you're like, I don't really want to drive that fast. I have a lot on my mind. Let me move over to the slow lane. Understand where your lane is, but either way, when it's time for you to move over from lanes, what are you using? Your indicators, your blinkers. Your blinkers are letting you know that there's a reason for you getting over. Either you need to speed up or you need to slow down. Either you need to go around or you need to back it all the way down so you can get off the highway, right? Which we're going to talk about here in a second. And if for some reason you are driving in the slow lane going fast, it's usually because someone in the fast lane does not indicate or does not understand that they need to indicate and get on over, right? There's an indication when someone is coming up behind you faster than the way that you're going. You need to make a conscious decision to say, I need to move out of the way, right? Either move out the way or slow down so they can get in front of you, right? And when you are talking about the consistency and the proper use of your blinkers, right? The consistency of you using it, it reduces the confusion. Everyone else behind you, everyone else around you knows exactly where you're going. So when you are using those blinkers, you reduce the confusion, you minimize misunderstandings, you take the time out to, you contribute to the smooth transition of where they need to go. People don't know where to go if you don't indicate which way you need to go. They don't know if they need to back up, if they need to go around, if you don't indicate where you're going. If you don't make any indications, they think you are heading in the same direction at the same speed or faster than the way that they're going. You are more experienced, you have more knowledge at this place where you're driving. And so when it comes to the flow of your life, right? There are times when nobody wants to be sideswiped. And that's what happens when you don't use your blinker. People are usually sideswiped because they don't, because of their negligence. They're not indicating where they want to go. So now there's an accident. Now you're accidentally hurting someone. Now you're accidentally using someone. Now you're accidentally not doing what you need to do as a uh-oh. What just that? Okay. I knew I kept seeing something in the battery. You just got to turn it on. All right. You gotta, okay. Okay. Y'all can hear me. Can you hear me? I don't know. Okay. Let me tell you something. Devil busy. Devil is busy. Anytime that I'm trying to get a good message out, the devil be busy, honey. Busy, busy. So that's all right. That's all right. I'm still here. We still here. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for your patience. It's always something. The devil be busy the beginning of the year, but I'm gonna get y'all this word. I promise you, I'm gonna get this word out to you. Uh, so, getting back to, gosh, my thoughts. The negligence of letting people, letting them or not letting them know what you plan on doing usually is a time for you to be sideswiped and distracted, and injured emotionally, spiritually, mentally, because the indicators were not used. And when your indicators are not used, this is a time when you find yourself trying to figure out the timing of your life. And because your time does not line up with God's timing, then you have to turn the blinker off. Can you hear? Okay. You have to turn your blinker off, because the whole time, if you drive with your blinker on and you're telling everyone that you're going right when you end up going left, the confusion is there. When you tell someone that you love them, when you really don't, the confusion, right? And when it's time for you to make a turn in your life, If your blinker was off the entire time, but it's time for you to make a turn in your life, who knows, unless you're in a turning lane, do they really know that you're ready to make that turn, that you're ready to make a change, that you're ready to go a different direction? Your indicators are letting people know you're ready to make a move. Are you ready to make a move in 2024 is what I'm asking, right? And because when you don't make a move, what happens? What can set in? Confusion. And when confusion sets in, you know where confusion comes from, right? The adversary. And so when the adversary tries to come in like a flood and distract you and tell you to go a different way and make you feel a different kind of way, right? It is time for you to make a turn in your life. It is time for you to be intentional and use your blinker. Move out of the way, go faster, go slower, make a turn here, make a right here. Either way, it is time for you to shift in some way, form, or fashion. Your blinker is indicating that it's time for you to make a shift. Are you ready to make that shift? Right? When it's time for you to slow down and even get off on the ramp, right? To get off the highway. You've been going fast, you've been going slow, you've been stuck in traffic, but it's time for you to finally get off on the exit. It is time for you to exit and go to a different place. You still have to use what? Your blinker. You still have to indicate that it's time for you to get away from the hustle and bustle of life, meaning the highway. It's time for you to get away from or get off and take time off from being a part of something that whatever it is that you needed to go fast or you needed to get there swiftly. Now it's time for you to get off on that highway. What do you still need? Your blinker. When you get off the highway, you still have to do what? Merge. You have to get onto a different road, and you still have to indicate that you're ready to make this transition, to indicate that this is your stop, to indicate that this is your transition from one lane to the other. This is your lane, or this is your time to merge onto the new street, because the people, places, and things that are waiting for you to turn, are waiting for you to move. There are not just people that are for you that are waiting for you, but there's things for yourself that are waiting for you. There are places that are waiting for you to get there. There are things that are waiting to be obtained by you, but you have to indicate that you're ready to get there. All I'm saying for 2024, it is time for you to emerge in, right, what is waiting for you. And you can't merge properly without indicating where you're going, because now it becomes a safety, it becomes confusion, it becomes a opportunity for someone to sideswipe you because they don't know where you're going, right? When other people don't use their indicators, and now you have to drive for you and for them. You have to guess how they're going to move. You have to guess what they're trying to do, all because they are not ready to use their blinkers. That is like my pet peeve. People who don't use their blinkers. That is my pet peeve. And I think it's because blinkers on so many levels are preparation. All right, we got 30%, so I'm going to make it quick, y'all. They're your preparation to really prepare you for your situational awareness, to get you ready for your business venture, your innovation, your creativity, your strategy planning, your new family, your new children, you're engaging with family, learning to hear and listen to your feelings, learning to deal with those emotions that you tried to hide for so long. This is the time to use those indicators to say, hey, I need time to learn how to journal. I need time to get closer to God. I need time away from dating. I need time for preparation to become a wife or a husband. These are the things that you need to be thinking about. How am I developing my staff? How am I developing my family? What am I doing? What type of indicators am I telling my friends that I'm ready to go higher? What are your indicators? Are you ready to utilize your blinkers? So I know that we are close on time. We ran over because we did a little, the enemy tried to get in here and stop it, but to God be the glory, right? So that is my time. I sincerely hope that something was said, done, or thought that really, that was thought provoking, should I say, that made you really think about where you are and if you're using your indicators this year. It is only 8 days, 9 days, 8 days into the new year. And I really hope that this is the time for you to consider, what are you doing to indicate where you're going? This is the start. This is where we begin. This is your time to say, I'm ready to make a change. Are you ready to shift? Are you really ready to make a turn? Think about it. Think about the things that you're ready to grow from, go from, leave. But you have to make a decision. Even when you leave out your driveway, you have to go left, right, straight. There's still a decision. At the end of the road, you either go left or right. You have to make a decision. Now is the time for you to start making decisions. Don't let someone else make the decision for you. Don't let someone else sideswipe you into making you make a decision that you didn't really want to do, pushing you out of the lane because you weren't ready. So if I said something, once again, that you enjoyed this teaching, I sincerely ask that you would like, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on the teachings. I know that I said I was going to bring y'all something new for the new year. So what we're going to do, me and my team, we're going to start trying to give you snippets of some of the previous shows so you can go back and watch them and see some of the content and how we've grown, how we've elevated in our development when it comes to making sure that you get some of the resilient tools that are there for your growth and your stability. So I ask that you come back on the 22nd of January as we're going to do part 2 of Use Your Blinkers. And part 2, we're going to focus on your empathy, and your children. Empathy and children are what we're going to focus on. And your empathy is not just for your children. Your empathy is for everyone, right? And we're going to talk about the difference between empathy and sympathy, but we will talk about that on the 22nd of January. So also, if you have not seen on our Facebook and on the Instagram, I think it's on my TikTok as well. We're going to make sure that it is posted on the LinkedIn. We are having a in-person adversary resiliency discussion panel. And we would love to have you in the place. If you cannot be physically in the place, we understand, but just know we have some good things that share with you. We have some blessings that are going to come out just for you showing up and showing out. And then we're going to also have some giveaways. We're going to make sure that if you come out on the 16th of January, those of you that are virtual, I'm sorry, you won't be able to get the same blessings. However, those of you that are able to do the in-person right here in San Antonio, Texas, we would love to have you here. As you can see on the screen, that is for our actual in person, real resilient conversation where we are talking about the adversities of Black and Brown and between men and women. And really what we want to do is take the time to have that open discussion on why that is. Okay. So virtual options are available. Please inbox me or email me at realresilientconversations.com if you have questions or concerns. I would love to answer them for you. I believe Dr. Sully's email is on there as well. And I love and adore you all. And until then, on the 22nd, we will be here at the same time, the same place, with the same faith in the same space. Until then, love, joy, peace, and happiness I leave unto you. I will see you all on the 22nd. Love you. Bye-bye.